You can now support me on my locals community, Tom's Train of Thought. Membership is free, and you can support me for as little as $2 a month now. Just $2 a month. Link is in the description and in the chat.
But nothing ever stopped me from dusting off my shoes. You might think you'll see me falling to the ground, but I threw up my umbrella when rain stopped hitting down. Yeah, on a bad day, on a good day, I don't need no sunshine, 'cause I'm dancing with the rain. You will see me running, thinking I might be insane. I don't need no sunshine, you keep me going strong. I just need my happy face to keep me moving on. Looking out the window, reflecting who I am. No one ever stopped me, not even Uncle Sam. Life might be a struggle, life might be a fight, but I am here to show the world that I can make it right. On a bad day, on a good day, on a bad day, rain keeps raining.
Good evening, everyone. How y'all doing? It is April the 9th, 2025, and I'm back here on the studio. I'm trying to monitor this damn thing on my little iPad, and it won't get past the pre-roll thing. It's just stuck on a pre-roll, playing it over and over again. So I'm going to have to shut it off and monitor it on my cell phone like I always do. I thought I'd be able to do that when I go over into the workbench to monitor the chat, but I guess not. I guess I can still monitor the chat, but it won't show anything in the video there. Okay, tonight we're going to be working on Otis Coal Company. I've been working on that for a while. Oh, Tom is in the doghouse. Spare room. Am I in the doghouse? Oh, we're going to do Otis Coal Company. I've been doing that for a couple of weeks. It's a Woodland Scenics, but I've been stretching it out, trying to do most of it on the workbench episodes. Yesterday I did some because I got bored yesterday and I wanted to do something, so I recorded it, and I'm going to show you the recordings there. I had about 45 minutes of recording, so bear with me. I'm going to show you. I'll give you an update on all of that before we head on over there, because if most of you weren't here on Friday on Rumble watching the workbench episode, I think Reggie and Bama Big Man and Debbie are the only ones that ever come on Monday and Friday on Rumble. And I see Gerald Stewart's over there today. But if you got Rumble, go over there and watch it from Rumble, because Rumble's where it's at. And so I do more on Rumble than I do on YouTube. Okay, yeah. And let me put this up here. Okay. Here, did I say YouTube sucks? Okay, I guess it's safe to put that up there right now. I'll leave that up there for a while. Okay, so that we're going to do train shows. We're going to do a train show haul. I did the train show haul on Rumble, but haven't done it on YouTube yet. And we'll get back to Otis Coal Company. And then we'll do the thank you for the supporters. But if you haven't done so already, smash that like button. And if you're not on Rumble, it's a good thing to go on Rumble because here's why. If you haven't done so already, smash that like button. Follow me on Tom Kovichak or Tom's Trains. Hit the bell notification. And better yet, sign up for Rumble Premium. What are you waiting for? You know why you want to sign up for Rumble Premium? Because you have ad-free viewing. Break free from ad breaks. Watch your favorite videos on live stream without advertisement. That means you don't have to sit there and click through 2 advertisements before each live stream or video. Then you get premium content. Gain access to exclusive premium content from creators like Steven Crowder, Dr. Disrespect, Tim Pool. They all have it. Even I have it. I'm a premium creator, and I even have the premium content. But if you're familiar with Mud Club, you get that free. If you're familiar with Timcast IRL's Uncensored, you get that free. And he now has the Green Room. You get all that advantages, and you also get a verified badge and other benefits. It's only $9.99 per month, US dollars, $99 per year. So what are you waiting for? Sign up for Rumble Premium now. Yeah, like that guy says, I'm trying to get this thing over here to start. I thought I would get a different thing on there. Finally, I had to cut it off and put a different stream up there. And finally got it to work. So go figure. Did I say Rumble is great and YouTube sucks? Yeah, there you go. Let me get that off of there. All right. Okay, let me get this banner off of here. You saw that. But anyway, go over to Rumble and follow me over there. And I see Jim is over there now. Okay, there you go. Thanks for going over there. And Gerald's over there too. And Debbie's lurking. She's got it on, but she's being silent because she's watching television too. Okay, so we're gonna do train shows. I guess we'll do that one first. So I got to get this thing set up for the train show thingy. Okay, there we go. Let me get them all over here and put this up here. Boom. All right, let me maximize this thing right here. Okay. So, Train Collectors Association. Let me do this first. Oh my goodness. I'm slipping. Hold on. Slap me for a second. Let me do the train show thingy. Here we go. All right, I gotta do it the proper way. Okay, there you go. Train Collectors Association here. We got a few on here, and May the 12th, Regal Railway is in Crystal River. Okay, wait a minute, what I got here? And I got people texting me. Okay, hold on. Get that out of there. Hold on. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I got to put all this stuff in one place. I'll be able to do that. I've been messing around with my computers trying to get them to work right, and I can't get the one computer to work right that I had in here that I moved over in there. So I might have to move this one back over. But April 24th, Eastern Division Train Show in York. And I think they have one in June too, but I'm not sure in Jacksonville because somebody asked me if I was going there. And then May 17th, Regal Hernando County Fairgrounds. That's in Brooksville. June 1st is Agat. That's in Melbourne. So that's on the East Coast. And Reggie Stroud put that. There you go, Reggie. All right, there you go. But that's it for the a local around here. We're hurting for train shows. And then here's the Timonium one, May 3rd and 4th at Timonium Fairgrounds. I guess Ray Bobel's going to have a mini meet and greet. So if you're up in that area, go see everybody up there. We're not going to be up there then. We might be up there sometime later on. I wish they would move that until August because that's when my granddaughter's birthdays is, and that's when I'm up there the most. But then here is all these ones over here. Most of them, Wheaton, Illinois, then Edison, New Jersey, Oaks, PA, Monroeville, Edison, Chantilly, East Moline, and all that good stuff. So you know where all this stuff is at. It's trainshows.com. And the other one was Great Scale Model Trains, and then Train Collectors Association. I found a new one here, and this is trainshows.net. I just found this today. I'm wondering if this replaced the one that went never, well, I wouldn't say, well, quit. Let me put it that way. They quit. So I'll put this in the chat. Okay. So you all could see it. Boom, right there. And I'll put this up in the up here for the people that watching a replay. It's right there. Okay, and it's hard to see with that right there, but I'll keep that up there. But Hiller Aviation Museum, San Carlos, California, April 5th to the 13th. And then let me make this thing bigger so I could see it, so you could see it too. They got it so small on there. Okay. So Intermodal Model Bow, April 10th, Miss Dormont. That's German. Let me do just North America. I don't want Germany. Okay. Okay. Bulls Gap Railroad Museum Train Show in Tennessee, April 11th, 12th. Crystal River Train Show, that's for National Guard, that's Regal Railway. Magnolia Train Show, April 12th, Borough and Magnolia Community Center, New Jersey. NMMRC Flea Market and Open House, Coons Rapid VFW, Minnesota, Coons Rapid. Okay, so all of that, you could take a look at all of this stuff here. There's the link. I put it up there, and let me put this thing up so you could see the link a little bit better. There you go. Trainshows.net calendar right there. All right, so there we got it. Okay, so that's it for the train shows that I got. But the next thing I want to do is show you the train show hall. Let me put this up here. Do this correctly here. Okay. I had to pick this all up off the floor here. So I hope it's not going to fall over or anything. So we went to a train show in D-Land this weekend on Saturday, and I got a bunch of stuff. And Debbie got some stuff too. But I wanted to show you these. Over the weekend, went to a church sale in Sebring and got these two insulators. They were $2 a piece. So put that in my collection. These at the train shows are going for $10-15. So anytime I get it cheaper than that, I could pick it up. And a lot of people have them laying around all over. They had a whole box full of them, but I didn't want the whole box. So here's this thing right here. And let me do this. I got to do this thing to my camera so it doesn't mess up. And when I move around, I got to adjust the focus on here. Give me 1 second to do that. Okay. That way, when I move around, it won't blur in and out. Hey, Larry Bergman, how you doing? Good to see you in here. So I got this one here, Bar Mills sidewalk freight elevators. I got this for $5 for one of the vendors there. If you watched the video, not sure which one it was, but you seen me pick this up in the video and put it off to the side. That's because I wanted to buy it. So that's that one right there. First Coast Model Railroad Society, they had a train layout there, and so they always sell some stuff. So I got this boxcar here for $5. It's a Rutland. It's missing a coupler, so I didn't see that, but I got couplers here somewhere, so I'll be able to put one on there. But that's a good buy for $5 because everybody else was selling them for like $8 and $10. Okay, Iron Penguin, 3D printed cafe interiors. So I got a lot of cafes on my model railroad. It was $11.95. All I have to do is paint it. The damn detailed parts that I hate to do. And Wes, can't remember his last name. I got a few things from Wes. Highway Miniatures, 1944 standard sedan V8. I got that. And what else did I get from him? Oh, yeah. Woodland Scenics. Tucker Brothers Machine Shop. And since I am doing the Otis Coal Company, I thought I'd get this one here because I have another small one, some similar to that I have in my welding scene. It's a little bit smaller than that, but it looks really nice. So I'll be putting that together. And the other one that I got from Wes was, which one here? This one here. Mini kits. Right there. It's plastic, but I haven't seen this for a long time. I thought I'd get it and put it together. It's all there and looks in good shape. So we'll be working on that sometime. So all three of them, $30 for that. He isn't cheap, but he's got a lot of stuff that you can't find anywhere else. And then the one vendor there that I see it all the time, he says, I got something for you. That was this thing right here. The last time I was at D-Land, he says, oh, I got a trestle for you. So he brought it to this time. It's Ayers Scale Models, Garden Grove, California. Original price, I don't know if you can see it, $375. All right. Gerald, in junior high, we would walk the old abandoned railroad tracks and pick up buckets full of insulators. We sold them to an antique shop for 25 cents. That's all. That's awesome. Hello, everyone going to show tonight in Michigan. All right. Good deal. Okay, I got one more. And at the train show, there was a lot of new vendors there. And right across from where Wes was, this guy had this, and he had $15. And I said, you take 10 for that? And he says, sure, I'll take 10. And that's Tommaso's Market. It's a Cornerstone, Walther's Cornerstone. So that'll go nice. I think I have Merchants Row Walther's also, if I could find it somewhere. It's in a tote somewhere. So that's all I got. And Debbie got a cast iron locomotive. I think she paid $0.25 for it, and she got a DVD of Steam Across America for $0.25. She finds all these deals for $0.25. I mean, I gave her $5, and she gave me $2.50 back, and she bought those two things and got a soda too. So I can't get out of there that cheap. Okay, let me put this away here. Oh boy. So that is the train show haul. Okay. Each. Okay. Let me get rid of this up on the side here. All right. 25 cents each. All right. Let me put this up there. Yeah. Okay. It's easier to see these. Okay, right there. Okay. And I'll put this up there because it's easier to see than up in here and this little thing over here. Okay, so there we go. We're on Rumble and we're on YouTube tonight. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we're on Rumble. Wednesday, we're on Rumble and YouTube. So if you have Rumble, go on over there on Monday and Friday and watch the Workbench stuff, because I think Reggie and Bama Big Man, they're about the only ones going. Yeah, cheap date. There you go. Yeah, I don't know how she finds all these bargains. And then we was at Lowe's the other day, and they have these little ammo boxes, like 4 of them, and they match the black and yellow totes that they were pushing during Christmas. And Debbie's been watching ever since. They had a whole 2 big old pallets full of them. She'd been watching them going down, down, down. And we was there the other day, and she was sitting in one of the garden chairs, and I was doing my walk, and then I come over and I seen that in the cart, and I said, "You finally decided you was going to get it, huh?" So she got it as like 4 ammo boxes in a little thing, plastic stuff. So she said, and then she says, "Do you want it? Because I don't know what to do with it." Okay, so what else do we got? Okay, so I do the workbench stuff. I think that's all the stuff that I got here. Let me do the supporter thing before we do that. because I want to acknowledge everybody that supports this channel. And I've been trying to get my one computer to work, the one I used to have in here, and it's bugging the hell out of me. Why? Only in one program that the video comes out real choppy. If I go like this, you see that, like that. And it's got a better graphics card than this. I've done everything that I possibly can, and I can't get rid of it. So we'll figure it out. You can now support me on my local community, Tom's Train of Thought. Membership is free, and you can support me for as little as $2 a month now. Just $2 a month. Link is in the description and in the chat. Thank you for your contributions during the live stream. I really appreciate it. I'd also like to thank all the moderators who have helped me out in the past years. Thank you very much. All right, like that guy said there, thank you very much. And Reggie says, my wife buys and sells all the time, can sell ice cream to an Eskimo. Oh, boy. And there's Debbie on Rumble. She's red velvet. Okay, there you go. My wife went to Tampa for 4 days. It was so quiet. I set up a 17 by 5 foot double loop on the living room floor. It was bliss. All right. So quiet, huh? Oh, geez. All right. Don't give Debbie any ideas here. Okay, let me put this one thing up here. I'm doing Otis, and I did not realize how difficult it was, because the last one I did of that nature was this thing right here, tie and plank mill. And I did this about 8 or 9, maybe 10 years ago, or even more. And they discontinued this, but it's really involved. Let me crank this up here so you can see it better. That one right there. Okay, boom. And I liked it, but I couldn't remember how hard it was to put together. And that's all white metal castings right there. I don't know how many pieces was in the kit, but there was a lot. So let me see if we got the one that I'm working on here. Let me make this smaller again so I could find it easier. Okay. Oh, come back over here. Okay. Okay, products. There we go. Scenic kit. They don't show the, let me see, scenic details. Maybe they do it here. Let me do it another way. Otis Coal Company, Woodland Scenics.
Here is some information about Woodland
Oh, you be
Scenics
quiet.
TS 153 Otis Coal Company.
Okay, this is the kid that I'm working on now. We don't want to listen to you, Google lady. So okay, well, let me see that. I'm missing a part on there, and I wanted to see if I just read the thing wrong. And I probably read the thing wrong because the front wheels on the tractor, it shows as one part. It's two wheels, but I don't have it. And that looks like that right there. Hold on a second. Oh, let me make it bigger. Okay. Oh man, I can't move it around. Yeah, it's that right there, but I don't have that right there. That's the front wheels of the tractor. And that's one thing that I'm missing on there. So, oh well. I'll have to improvise. Okay, so all right. So let me get this out of the way here. And let me show you. He did. Yeah. All right. So let me show you what we got for this right here. Let me put this back over here. Okay, there you go. And put that up there. And we're going to show you some of the videos of what I've been doing. Actually, I did all of this yesterday on Otis Coal Company because most of the stuff was when I was handling it, it was falling apart because it's uh, you'll get the idea. Streams on Otis Coal Company, and I got so far right here with it. The main structure I got put together. But there's a lot of other pieces on there that I have to add to it that are very, very delicate and very small and intricate. And I have to be very careful with it and slow with the process. And let me show you what is involved here. Okay, so first of all, when this thing sits, it's kind of crooked on the bottom here, so I have to straighten out the white metal on the back right here because it's tilted in just a little bit, but that's not an issue. What I have to work with is all these little parts right here, and I already glued the seat onto the little platform with the controls for the crane. But the crane comes in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think 6. There might be more. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to pause this and show you a picture of what it looks like. Let me put this over here. See, that's what it looks like. Is two wheels, and it's got the little post in the little deal in the middle. I don't have that, and it shows it as one part. So that's what I'm missing. So I'll just have to figure out where to get it. Okay, back to the program. Yeah, that's about it. It comes into these 6 pieces right here. Plus, this is the scoop on it. But I'm going to have to drill some of these holes out a little bit better because I think only one of them is drilled through. This one right here. And I'll probably have to drill one on the other side and then drill these out over here. I'm not sure because wires go on one and string go on the other. So wires go on this one and string goes on this one here. So, but that goes on the bottom of the crane, and the crane sits. Here's the pivot right here, and the pivot sits right in here. But I might have to just paint some of this stuff, put this whole assembly together, and then paint it and then mount it up in here, because it's going to be a bear trying to do this on a live stream. And then this one piece right here fits underneath here, like so. And then all these pieces right here, which you can't see all of them, but these are all the pieces for the bins on the side that come out this way, and the track goes on top of it all the way down like this, and this is on the end. And there's a little scooter that rides up on top of that, and we got to use this wire on there. So what I'm going to have to do is mount all this on a piece of styrene before I get anything further. When I finish this and this over here, and then start doing this, I'm going to have to mount it on a styrene so it's in a permanent place, so it doesn't move. And then there's a small piece over here for the scale. There's some pallets and stuff like that. Not sure where this goes yet. We got a light right there, and a bunch of other stuff right here that I have to figure out where all those other things go. There's a little tractor here, so these parts right here are for the tractor. The two front wheels. I think this is that part there. And there's a steering wheel. This little steering wheel. One of these is a steering wheel, probably this one right here. We'll stick that over there. Here's a little muffler. I'm not sure where that goes. But a lot of other things that we got to put together. A lot of small details. So we just got to figure out where each one of these goes. There's a couple of small signs right here. There's another larger sign right here. This thing right there. I'll put that up there because we'll work on that later separately. And then we got some spare motor, a tank, some junk around there, and some barrels, and some three tires. I'm not sure if that's part of the deal, but we'll have to figure that out as we go. But let me set this back over here, because what I'm working on right now is this little crane right here, trying to figure out where everything fits. I just about got it. These two pieces come together like this. One fits inside the other. Like so. Okay, like that. But, since this is white metal, it bends, so I'm going to have to try to straighten everything out. This one still is a little bit bent, so I got to get that straightened out. And that goes together like that. And then the motor for it sits in the back here, like that. And then the control with this little seat on it sits on the side here. And then this outrigger comes out over here. So we got to glue all that together. what I'm doing with this X-Acto blade right here is cutting along, just scoring it along the edges of that, because there's a little round post that I have to save that's attached to it that I don't want it to cut, that I don't want cut off. So there we go. Got it. Now I'll just have to file that down so it's round and that fits in that little hole right there. This hole in the center. So that wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. I was stressing out about that. But nothing to stress about. And that'll fit right there. Boom, so that can rotate. All right, good deal. Got it. Now, what's the other side here? Okay, that one won't be too bad. I just got to chop that whole thing off right there. So there we go. You can see on the bottom of that, there's little gears on the end right here, and right here that fit on that gear right there. So let's see what that would look like when I put it down there. See how realistic that would be. Well, it's not I'm gonna have to shave that down a little bit inside, maybe drill that out a little bit so it sits down in there a little bit further, because there's a little gap right there. So we got that. Oh, wow. Okay, now I got it. There was still a little bit of a nub right there, so, and I also drilled that out just a little bit, so when that fits in there, that'll be on there up against the gear like that. All right. Got it. Taking a close look at this crane right here, these pieces must have broke off because they're attached right there, and you can see where on each one of them where they broke. So I'm going to have to glue them back together before I get all this together here. That makes it a little bit easier to put it together. So I'm glad I took a close look at that with my little goggles here, these little things here. I glued those on as best I could, and we'll just have to let them set up for a while and then try to glue all this together, because this fits on here like this. And we'll have to straighten everything out once it's all glued together, hopefully. On this shovel, there was only one hole that was visible, and I had to clean that out with a bit and then drill out the other side. I just got finished drilling out that side there. This is a number 72 drill bit, and there's two in the back. I just cleaned it out a little bit, and I'll have to drill through each one of them now. But I think the front takes wire and the back takes the stretchy string, elastic string. Okay, there's that one. Doesn't take much to drill through it. And make sure you clean it out real good. Turn it over here. This one's a little bit harder. It looks like it's might be going into the meat of it. Maybe not. Let's see. We'll get there. There we go. I had to tune it just a little bit to get it in there. So there we go. And here's the elastic string. So I got one of those little deals where you could, it's a sewing aid where you put the string in it, and it's a real small wire. You put it in here and just suck your string through. We'll see if that works. One thing that's making it difficult to glue is the tip busted off. So I can grab a little bit of glue in here. Try to get all the surfaces, get some glue on all the surfaces I need with this little tool right here. And you can see the one piece busted off already. Well, it just came off. I didn't have it glued on very well. Not much surface to glue, so once I get this together, maybe it'll be a little bit easier to attach, because this will give it a little bit more strength. There we go. Just hold that in place for a second there. So yeah, when I hit the glue got stuck up in here, and I was trying to twist it off, and it just busted off, and then I can't unscrew that because it's sealed tight. So I got a little bit glue left in there, but I got one more left. And luckily, it came as a 2-pack, and I bought 2 packages. So that last one this is my 3rd one here. Debbie also did the same thing, but I don't think she has used any yet, so I'll be able to borrow some from her.
Hear that,
So
Debbie?
we'll let that set up for a while, and then glue this other arm onto there. And then we'll be able to paint some stuff before we glue the rest of it all together. Or maybe we should just wait till everything's glued together and then paint the stuff individually. Because we got a motor on there, we got a bunch of gears, metal. Here's the motor. There's all that little stuff there. So I'm going to take a break.
Yeah, I needed that break really bad. And then Debbie said that she has that glue and she hasn't used it yet, so I could use it. I was looking at Lowe's today, and all the only super glue that they have is Gorilla Glue, and they want something like, what was it, $9 for almost 9 and some change. Yeah, just swap her. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, she's going to give it to me. Yeah, so yeah, the Gorilla Glue was 9 and some change for 6 little tubes. So I said, to hell with that. Pay way. Yeah. Well, I know you heard that. You're listening on your headphones. Okay, so here comes some more video here. Hold on a second. I got 45 minutes worth of video, so this one here is like almost 13 minutes long. So here we go. That was a much needed break. I didn't remember how involved it was putting these white metal castings together. The last one I did of this size, or maybe it was just a little bit bigger than this one, was the tie and plank mill. And I must have did that maybe about 8 years ago.
that was really involved. And I guess my mind just blanked out me building it. I remember doing the little shed, but not the tie and plank. But I remember painting some of the stuff on the tie and plank, but a lot of the details I don't remember. And I guess I kind of blanked that out because it was so hard to do. Yeah, this is a lot harder to do than the laser cut wood kits. Much harder there's more detail. You got to straighten things out. You got to cut off more to flash. It's like painting detail parts, but this is nothing but detail parts, painting them and putting them together. But it's rewarding. I like doing things that is challenging. It gives me something to do. So we'll take a little bit longer break and then get back to work on it. Maybe I'll open up a new tube of super glue and throw that old one away. Quit fighting with that old one. So we'll. Debbie just walked in here and gave me all these super glues right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. 4 of the regular ones and 2 of the gels. So, okay. And one of them was used. I'm going to have to throw this one away because I probably won't be able to get it out of there because the lid isn't on that one. Okay, I've done that too. Okay, let's get back to this thing here. Okay. Boom. Let me turn it back on. Here we go. See you on the other side. I'm going to open up a new deal of super glue, but what I had to do, and while I was trying to fit these 2 pieces together, the arms of the crane, the one that was still attached ended up breaking off, but I ended up having to drill holes over here for the string also on both of these, and then file off some spaces in here where I'll have to glue it together. And probably best thing to do is just glue this together like this. Here we go, one little itty bit at a time again. Work on this one here, get some glue in that. Right there and right here. And squeeze it together like that. You got to make sure that that's straight right there. Like that. Because this is the hardest part, getting these little things together like this and getting them to stay in place if once they're broken, because these things busted off before I got started on it. So all right, so let me see, while I got the glue up, maybe I could put another piece up here. I could put the motor right here. See how that fits in there like that. So let me shave down some of this stuff here. I might just have to scrape this with the knife right in there. And just a little space in between a tab right there, so you can barely see it.
I just got to scrape it. So we got bare metal. Seems to hold better when it's bare metal. Because once you're on the paint, the paint just busts off. It loses its adhesion. Basically, all we're doing was scraping it off. See if we could need any more scraped off there. That looks good. So it'll go right there, like that. I might have to scrape some off right there too. All right. Little dabble do you there, and a little dabble do you right here on both of those. Okay, there we go. That'll give us something to paint later on. Make sure we get that straight on there. Okay. That's a little engine on the back of that. And on this one side is this little platform, but I think I'll glue that on later on, because that goes over here someplace. Not exactly sure where, but we'll figure out where. Maybe on this little post right there. See if that might work right there on that post. So we'll worry about that later. Let all this stuff set up. The more I touch this thing, the more it falls apart. I just had to redo all this over here and this right here, put that back up, and then I just knocked the stairs off of it. So hopefully this will give it a little bit more stability with that wood in there. So this is really delicate. That's why I need to put this on a base as soon as I can. We'll get some glue right here. For the steps, and then right down here. And then there's another set of steps that go on the other side. And I just put this gear in place right over here. Where's that other steps that I had? Right here. Now this fits like right in here. Like that. So maybe once I put that in there, that'll help out. So I gotta shave all this down here. And then this side right here. And then that little piece right there that sticks out, that's a little support bracket. Let's see where it ends up at. Right there. And let me shave this right here.
know, I'll just have to go over all this again with painting it. So put some glue right there on that little support, and then right here on these two pieces that I shaved. It's easier for me to hold it with my fingers than to try to do it with the tweezers. Sometimes I could manipulate it better that way. There we go. Maybe that'll give it a little bit more stability, because that's another thing that's holding it in place right there. Right like that. And then this crane is going to sit right up on top of here like that. Well, this way here. Okay, so that's why that's there, because the guy has to get up there from there. So that's where the seat goes over here, and the crane part goes out over here, and the tracks are supposed to be right here. Okay, that's good. I just filed down everything that I needed. Two sections right here, and then the two sections on this side for this little assembly here. So we're going to dab some, well, I'll do it like this. I'll dab the glue on this part right here. Got two corners and right here. Let's see how we can get this in here. And just hold that in place, and that will keep it stabilized even more. All right, there we go. Oh my. So the white metal, it's kind of hard to get a good bond on it, because even though, it's supposed to be a flat surface, it's not really flat. It, like wells up because of the way they do the mold in it. And even if you try to file it down, you still can't get it flat. And then all those little pieces over there where you try to get it together, you got a little spot that's about 32nd of an inch round, and another spot down here, which are maybe about another 32nd of an inch, and trying to glue it together like that. Everything falls apart. So I wish they had an epoxy that you didn't have to mix up, that you could use like you can with the super glue, that you could put it in there and it'll like fill in the gaps and stuff like that, because there's a lot of gaps in there when you got two pieces coming together. Like you'll see in the next part that I have two pieces that come together like this. It's the top of the crane. It has a pivot point up there, and it's got mitered things on there. But if it was wood or something like that, or plastic, it would fit. But the white metal doesn't fit too well. So that's the issues you have with the white metal castings, and it's but there's a lot of detail. So one more, almost 19 minutes long, and then we're going to go over to the workbench. Just to give you an idea of what I am looking at when I'm looking at the drawing, here you go.
All right, so it's not this big on the thing that I printed out. You know, I printed each one of these sections on an 8x10, but here's the first one, and here's what I had to deal with on the first little assembly right there. So you just got the dotted lines showing you closely where everything goes, which, you know, you have to keep looking at it and trying to make sure that you have everything right on there with that. Okay, let me go over to the second one. Now, this one is the one that I've been working on just for the last half an hour or so. Here's the steps that I just put on right there. Here's the crane right here. Uh, these little things right here is what gave me the problem because they broke off. Let me get over here a little bit closer, because these little things right here broke off right there. And so I had to glue them back on. The one of the things stayed on about like right here, but the other one broke off right at the this piece right here. It broke off. So it was hard gluing back in and getting it to stay. This is the motor assembly in the back. This is the part that it pivots on, and here's here's what I got to string it up with the elastic string like this. Okay. And what else is on here? There was something else on here too. Okay, now this is what I'm going to be working on right here. The this whole assembly right here. It's the let me make this a little bit smaller right now so we can read it. The coal bin. So you have two different kinds. You have the long one. You got two of the long ones, and you got, I think, four of the number 19. And then you have these tracks. You actually have to put a wire running along, and that'll be the track that little dolly runs on. So you got three of these 21s. The one of them sat inside. That was the number 20 right there, but this first 21 sits up against that whole assembly that we just built, goes in right there. And then you have two short ones right here, number 19s. And then you staggered the 20s. One goes one way, one goes the other way, and you have the long basswoods on there. That's what I had trouble trying to figure out where everything went. You'll see that a little bit later. And then there's a ladder here, and then there's this assembly here. And there's another thing that I got to add to it right there. Okay. Yeah, let me get a little bit closer to see what that is. Oh, that's just a little itty bitty thing that I got to glue onto that. There's a couple of pieces on there that I couldn't figure out where they went. So let me look at some of these other ones over here. Okay, that's no information. That part's upside down. Here's the tractor right here. So this is not going to be too bad. You got these wheels there. You got these wheels here. Well, I'm not sure if I have that assembly right there, but I got a couple of tires, but I don't have this thing right here. So I'm going to have to probably make something up like that. But I got these arms here, and I got that scoop. And then here's the scale. I got all that stuff. And here's one of the pieces of the basswood right here. And these are the small strips that I had to cut. So, okay. So that's the whole drawing. Let me bring it down to here. First page.
And then the second page. Okay. That's what I got to deal with right there. So that's why it makes it so complicated, because I'm looking at dotted lines.
On this one support that goes across over top of this crane right here that I finally got glued together. And I better handle that thing a little bit better. But I had to sand all this thing down and dry fit everything like this and make sure that I have enough room in there for the top of that. And then and so this thing will pivot on here. I gotta glue this together first and then glue this in place while I have this setting right here and set it on top of it. So I gotta wait for this part to dry first. So I gotta glue this one right now. So I think I got all the edges sanded down that I need. And I can't really get a good grip on that one right there. Where's my other one? That was an open one. So I'm just going to have to play with this right here. And hope for the best. And we're going to get a little bit of glue on inside there, but we'll have to deal with that because it'll dry before we put the little pivot point in there. So, try to soak up some of that. It's in the hole. And I got it all over my fingers everywhere, so I'll be scraping off super glue off my fingers. Trying to get the excess out of the hole. Try a little piece over here on this side. Skinny piece. I guess that's about the best I'm going to do it. There's a lot more waiting in on this in preparation because I had to sand all that down or file all that down, file everything down on here, but then this was a bear to get on here because there's really no place to put it, and I'm going to have to hit that with some more glue because I keep on laying it down on the wrong side, and that's about to fall off. So I'm going to have to hit that with another some more glue right there and hope that that'll stay on there. Because it was a little bit crooked to begin with. So that is good that I knocked it a little bit. I have all the pieces spaced out on here for the coal bins. And well, these two long pieces are going to go in underneath this little track right here. Because this little dolly is going to ride up on a rail on there and be pulled back and forth with a little cable. This stretchy string again to on this end for right here. So I need about 10 inches by 6.5. It should do me good because I want I want this mounted on a styrene so I don't destroy anything else on here, because I got this thing glued in place, and hopefully it's square as I'm going to get it. And that looks pretty good because I had to adjust it a little bit. So that's going to sit up on there like that. And the crane is going to be inside here. So now it's time to cut and then figure out where all these little pieces of basswood go, because I got a bunch of basswood pieces. And from the first night that I cut them, all these right here, the only one that I used was F so far, and that goes right into here. So all the rest of them go in between, like as barriers. So we'll figure it out. This is my styrene right here. And if it was square, it would be perfect. This is 8 this way and 11 inches that way. But I'll have to see if I got some white. This is 80 thousandths. I know I have some white, but it's about 40 thousandths, so I'm going to have to search for that. But this is basically how it's going to set, like right there. I think this is 8 by 10 right here. This sheet of glass. Okay. Yeah, that's 8 by 10. Right there. So that's the size I need. I don't want to mount it on the glass though. So we'll have to do some searching for some white styrene. I got some somewhere. All right, evergreen scale models, 80 thousandths plain. One sheet. The only thing is it's skinnier. It's 7 inches. Well, not even 7 inches. What is it? 6 inches wide by 12 inches. So it's 6 by 12. I think we can make it fit. We'll have some left over on the side. That'll give me some room to put the sign on the far end instead of putting it up in the front. So that's the back side right there. So we got that much room right there. We got about 1 inch in the front. And okay, let's just put this on here. Okay, so if that's on there like that, and so these only come out this far. Well, I might be able to get a sign squeezed in over there up on that end, but it's going to be tight. But I'm going to have to deal with it because that's all I got right now, and we're not going to the East Coast until next week. Next Tuesday, I get a procedure, and that's and the closest hobby shop is probably about 15 miles south of Bradenton, where I have my procedure done. So, and I'm not sure if they have the black either. So, oh well, we'll just have to deal with this for right now. Just trying to visualize how these basswood pieces go in here. You got wide ones and you got skinny ones, and the two center dividers are longer ones that have the pulleys underneath, and then you have a pair to go right here on this end, and a pair on this end, and then A and B's go on there. You have a and B here, A and B there, A and B there. That's not going to have enough. So on the end, you have two A and B's. And then on this end, you're only going to have one A and B. And then, I guess there's nothing that goes in. Well, no, that's this right here. So there is something that goes, there's an A and a B that goes on here, but it doesn't show it on both sides. You only got 3 of each. We'll figure it out. Okay, what threw me off was the first one doesn't have a divider in the front half. So there's a divider in the back right here. With the baster on wood, but the front doesn't have it. So then you have this one right here, A and B, and that right there goes in between that. There's a long one here. That goes on that side. I think this is how we're doing it. Long one there. Got this here. And there's the short one, A and B, right here. And that's the end of it. And then this goes over there. Or what? This is on the end. Okay, so these 3, one there, one there, one there, and then this long one fits there onto this right here. Got it. I got it. I got it.
All right. Pain in the ass, isn't it? Oh my goodness. You would not believe what is involved in that. So we're going to go walk over there. Hey, Daniel Shirley. How you doing? Good to see you in here. We're going to walk over to the workbench and do a little bit over there. I'm going to have to take my iPad mini to monitor the chat on Rumble, and then get my cell phone to monitor the chat on YouTube, on ScrewTube. Because I got, here's the, there's it right there. And I'm going to have to mute this mic over here while I'm over there. So I'm going to head on over there, and I'm going to mute the mic and mute this camera over here, and then walk over to the workbench. And I'll see you over there. All right, I'm over here now. I got a I got a mess over here. Let me put my little iPad mini over here so I could check that and open up this cell phone so I could monitor the chat on YouTube. See if I can get it up here real quick now and then do it the other way. Go in content and it's just showing my old stuff there. Hold on a second. I'll get there. But anyway, I painted the this right here because I think the white one is what I got at the uh, hobby shop in Sarasota. So I know they do not have the black. So we'll just have to deal with it. Okay. I'm not able to pull up my live. Let me try this over here. View channel, live. There we go. I got it. Turn the volume down on this. And won't let me open it up. I had this problem the other day too. I couldn't open it up. Crap. Open up. Come on. This being a bear. There we go. It's making me watch an ad now. I gotta watch these ads. Okay, skip. There we go. Finally, I got it. Now I can't pull up the chat. Come on, get the chat out of there. Well, I could see the it's not coming up. Look at that. Ah, crap. Technical difficulties here, huh? Well, I'll just have to see if I can pull it up here on my laptop and minimize this over here. But anyway, I'm going to do a little bit of painting on this. And I got all the colors that I need, I guess, or that I usually use. And I'll talk a little bit while I try to pull this up on my laptop. Okay, and what I got to go through to get all this stuff over here. Okay. Finally, I got it. Okay. So let me pop out the chat. There, got it. Minimize that. All right, so there we go. All right, there we go. I got the chat up. Okay, so all right. So I decided not to do anything with this. I'm not going to stain any of this because it will warp most definitely. So once I get this stuff painted here and some more colors on this over here, then I'll be able to add this together, put all this on this thing right here. I'm just going to have to deal with this, use this one by the 6x10, or is this 6x11, and just use it like this. Bring it all the way over here like that on the edge. And then these go in here like this. I think you just saw that, but I can't glue these together if I don't have them on a base, and I'm going to have to glue it all at one time because you're doing basswood with metal, so it's going to be like this. And then we got to put one of these up on top of here and put another one over here. And on this side, there is nothing that goes in the front. So that bin is open. I'm going to have to sand that down a little bit flatter. Okay, this one sits flat. But that'll go like right there. And then I'll have to glue this thing right here on top, just like so, like that. Boy, my goodness, that's going to be one hell of a thing. A sprayer, oh my goodness. Volmer products. They're a pain to put together. Well, anyway, that's what I got to go through. But before I do any of that, I'm going to paint all the other stuff on here because I need to hold it, you know. And I'm going to put yellow ochre over top of this. And then I got to put a little bit of black because we got rollers on the bottom here. So we got some metal stuff on there. That's going to be shiny in the center and a little bit of like graphite or whatever dark on the edges on each one of those. We got two of those. We got pulleys up on the top. So, you know, we'll have to do the same thing on that. Have it a little bit bright in the center. And that little elastic string goes on there. And then this little buggy right here, we're going to have to do. Okay, it's got all kind of neat stuff on it. And then this gear right here. And then the famous little crane right here. We're going to have to do a lot of little detailed parts. I probably won't do it all tonight because it's going to take a long time, but I'll get as much done as I can. And I had to re-glue this one here before I started the stream, and I probably got it off a little bit because that shit happens. But this thing goes up on here like this, and then the crane, I don't want to damage the crane doing this though, but goes in there. Okay, let me put the crane in this first, and then that, and then that, and then that. And so the crane will pivot in here like this. And so, and then there's two lamps. One lamp goes there and one lamp goes there. So let's see what paints we got here. And probably the easiest thing to do is do the yellow ochre first on all the wood products. But they're going to get covered with coal anyway, so it'll all get darkened up. But here's the yellow ochre right there.
Yeah, Reggie put on Rumble. He saved the sprues. Yeah, I got a whole deal right here of shavings and sprues. So I saved the stuff too. I save everything. I save too much shit. So I don't want to get too big of a paintbrush. So, but I want to get a flat one for this. So I guess this is the smallest one I got for that. But we're just going to dry brush the yellow ochre over top of that just to highlight the edges. And that's honey brown is the base color on there. And let me put my goggles on. Okay, here we go. See how difficult this is going to be. And also they got bolts sticking out here with washers. You see, like right there, right there. So we're going to have to put some rust on that also. Little dots of rust everywhere. And we're going to have to use some gray for the rocks on the bottom. I was watching this guy do a backdrop, Bob Ross style with uh, oil-based paints, exactly how Bob Ross does it. And I got a few oil-based paints and I tried it, but you got to do a lot of preparation for it. You got to get the right texture. I might try it later on, but this guy was on Rumble and I just watched a little bit of it. Didn't get to see the whole thing. I'm going to have to go back on and check it out. I'll have to go in my history and I'll put the thing up in the chat once I get back onto the computer. But it looked pretty good. I only watched about the first 10 minutes of it, but he did it exactly like how Bob Ross does, the same exact colors, but he uh, did a 12-inch square of hardboard and put about four coats of gesso on it to smooth it out, and then put the titanium white and started off the blue for the sky. I put some blue on my sky over here, and it worked really well over top of the other stuff.
But basically, it's painting wet paint over wet paint to blend the stuff in. Okay. Now the inside parts. Oh my goodness. The stuff that you're not going to see. More sizzle for your layout, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean this has got a lot of detail in it. That's why I picked up some more white metal casting, one more kit at the train show, and I have a bunch of other ones that I'm gonna put together because they're small and they fill in all the little gaps. Okay, so that looks much better with the yellow ochre on top of it. If you could just look at the difference right there and there. I don't know if you could tell, but it brings out some of the lines on there. We'll set this one off to the side. We'll do some of these over here, these bins. And these are all going to get covered up with coal, so it looks like these over here are angles, but this over here is still wood. These are beams, I-beams right there. But nothing goes in there. Yeah, that stuff I just showed you there, I mean, that's 45 minutes of video, but it probably took about 5 hours to do all that. I wouldn't have been able to do that on a live stream because I had to wait for stuff to dry, for the glue to dry, and take some breaks in between because getting flustered with the stuff. This is the easy part here, putting all the yellow ochre over top of that. Wait till I get down to the bottom stuff. The real little things where I have to use the little brush. Oh, I got to cut that off. I didn't do the tops on these here. Okay. Yeah, magic of video uploads. You shorten everything up. Well, nobody's going to be looking at the bottom, but I'll know it's done. Yeah, I could hear the chat here on me speaking on Rumble, and then I could hear it later, about 3 seconds later on YouTube, because I got YouTube running on the computer behind me. Okay. Got these three. This one might turn into a marathon tonight, maybe. The Friday stream's going to be a good one, because I'll be able to hopefully start putting some of this stuff together. Okay, so there's that. We got a couple of pallets over here that I could hit the edges, and then I'll have to do that little piece over there. Nobody's going to look at the bottom, but I'll know it's there, so I got to do it. Okay. Is there any wood on this one here? Yeah, we got some wood on this one here too. This is the uh, structure for the shed, or for the scale. And there's an electrical box on there with conduit. And more controls on this one here. Okay. Now this looks like a wooden pole right there with conduit on it. So
Some of the conduit's going to get covered up, but we'll go over that again with another color. And we'll have to straighten that out. And then here is the part that goes over top of the crane. And this has metal plates on it right there with the bolts where all the pieces of wood come together. Okay, so I guess that's all the wood parts right there. Let me look at my box. Oh, I got a pallet in there too. Okay. That one's gray. So this is just going to get all yellow ochre on it. I might have to dry brush some brown on this. All right. I guess that's it for the yellow ochre. Well, there might be some stuff. Not quite sure, but it might have some wood right there. That's the little trolley with the little container in it that goes back and forth. All right, let's do some silver because we'll have some silver stuff. Let me go clean this brush off. I'll be just a few seconds. Yeah, Russ. Yeah, I'm starting at 7 o'clock for every episode. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is on Rumble. Wednesday is the only time I'm on YouTube. So if you got a Rumble account, come join me on Monday and Friday also, because I'm not on YouTube on those days. Did you have problems with your music tracks, or did you decide against the music? Well,
I had I had to lower I had to cut it down. I had to knock 21 down, 21 decibel minus 21 dB on it. But since I'm not over on there, I play the music from the other computer, but I didn't put it on because I'd have to go back and forth. But when I start the stream from the laptop here, I could play the music because it could only run like 18 to 20 minutes of tracks because it's limited to size. So I'd have to, put on a different track every 18 to 20 minutes. Okay, so let's do extreme sheen metallic paint right here. And I'll use a smaller brush for that because I got a lot of small parts on here that I got to do. But put some sheen on all the pulleys, the center of the pulleys, and probably up here and on that stuff up there too. So this is the real shiny stuff. This is the metallic stuff. And I got to get some more up in the lid. Gerald said over on Rumble, we need to get Artie to join us on another all-nighter live stream. The Thunder Mesa Studios. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen some of his stuff over there. Yeah, I'm going to have to, when I get over to the other computer, I'm going to see if I could look in my history and pull it up to see who I was watching. Yeah, fun. Yeah, if I had, I was having issues with the one computer, so I moved it into the other room, and that's what I started this stream on. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of the oily stuff in here. I got to mix this up a little bit. Not getting the color. There we go. Let me put some over here. Yeah, there's a lot of oil in the or gooey stuff because this is a metallic shiny stuff. So it's a little different consistency than the other acrylic paints. And I'm just going to put it on a center of these because that's going to get the most wear because that's where the string is going to hit. And it's going to be like the cable that pulls the trolley through from one end to the other. One more right here. And on this one, you can't see it on the bottom, so it's no problem there. Okay, Gerald, thanks for putting that link up in there. Yeah, when I get back on the other computer, I'll put up the link to the video that I saw. Could be the same one. I'm not sure, but it was on Rumble. But Thunder Mesa is not on Rumble, is he? No, that's on YouTube, huh? Okay. Yeah, the guy I was watching was on Rumble, I think. Okay, now that's a air cylinder right there, so we'll make this part of it right here shiny, and the other part black. There's some springs, so we'll show a little bit of shine in it. Okay, what's this over here? Do the same here, put a little bit of shine on this. Not much. Okay, here's the fun part over here. Okay, so now we got some rods and some gears, so we'll put a little bit on there and then darken them up with like a graphite color also. Okay, now this is should be metal right here. Okay. Oh yeah, over here too. We got this whole thing is metal up on top. Looks like. We'll put some on the bottom here too. And we'll go over this with some rust and stuff. Okay, so we got a muffler here. Okay. Now this looks like a big drum right here that the wire goes on. The cable goes on right there. And we got gears there, but the tips of them are going to be shiny because that's where they mesh together. And we'll put some black in there also. What else we got? Put a little bit over here on the side. Okay. That's the radiator. There's a fan in there. There's the engine. So we'll get a little bit of silver in there, shiny, and then we'll cover it up with some other colors. Highlight it with some other colors there. Okay, what else we got right here? Okay, I think that's all we need on this one here. I have to add some more colors to that. Any plans for Arduino? I'm gonna be putting the Arduino videos up on Rumble, and then once I do all that, I'll see what I need. Because I got I got a lot more to do on it. So yes, eventually they'll come out eventually. Not saying when, but they'll be out there. Yeah, little by little, I'm putting all my old stuff that I had on YouTube. I'm putting it over here on Rumble on Tom's Trains channel. And that's looking pretty good with the metallic paint on it. Looking like a real metal. Huh. Well, there's a lot of work involved in painting these little detail parts. Now you know why I put this off to the last minute. But in this kit, it's all detail parts. Let me grab some more of this stuff over here. Yeah, and I had to drill out these little deals right there. Okay, where'd that little seat go? Looks a hell of a lot better with the paint on here. More a lot better than what it did with the uh, primer. Oh boy, I used the spray. Yeah. Well, I sprayed it on with the primer, but on the final coats, I just touch it up with this. Okay. Yeah, see this part here, I you could tell the difference. I did it with a gray primer, and this one with over here with the khaki primer. And you can see that it makes a big difference on the two different colors or two different sections right there. Much different. Okay, so over here on this, we got a few pieces where I could put the metallic on. Let's do the shovel. Only parts of the shovel are going to show some shiny stuff like on the edges, but we'll make sure we get it in there, and then the rest of it will go with a different color on it. Okay, so we got this gear up here. And we're going to have to put a big coat of graphite on it for grease and dirt and coal. But we'll get the base of this like that. And I'm going to have this, I'm going to have to paint honey brown because that's wood, a wood base right there. Okay, this gets painted right here. Yeah, we got some metal parts on here. That's a chute. Okay, and we'll consider that a metal bracket for the lamp. We'll paint the reflector green. Okay, what else do we have on here? Oh, there's a little pulley on that one there. Got to get in there. And some bolt heads right there. Okay. And these are like little tie plates right here. So we'll start off with silver, and then once we get the cable on there that, or the wire on there that's supposed to represent the rail, we'll paint that rust. What else do we have here? Let me get all the bolts. We'll get a little bit of metallic on there and then rust over it.
Where else? Right here. Right here. So some on the inside too. Don't forget those. One more. I'll put some right here. That's a little. Look like we need it there. Okay. Hey, Just Train World, how you doing? Techn- Technical difficulties will do it to you all the time. I've had my share of those. We're painting all this little detail stuff on this white metal. Yeah, I dip it in there. I don't get the color. I just get the gooey stuff. I gotta go around the edges right there. Get some of the color in there. Okay. All right. Ooh, how about this right here? Let's do inside there with some silver. Get this conduit right here. Okay. Right there. There.
All right. What about this little thing here? There's another little box right there. Yeah, I got to get some of that. Dig in here and get some of the sparkly stuff in here. All right. Now, here's this little thing here. I'm just going to go over all of this right here with the metallic and then hit it with some other colors afterwards. Boy, there's a lot of small stuff on here. Okay. Okay, this is the scale right here. So we'll put some metallic paint on here and then cover it up with some other stuff in the appropriate places. All right. That stuff in the box, I'll do some of that later. And that's enough for this stuff right here. I'm worried about this right here. So we got to put these parts together. What's taking so long? If I left them naked, I'd still have to put some stuff on it because the white metal is kind of dull. This puts a little sheen on it. Okay. Do I have a smaller one? Yes, I do. Alrighty. Got them. Oh, here's one right here. There's some metal on that one. Okay, let me go back. Let me see if I got enough on this to scrape on there. There we go. Let some of their khaki show through on that. There we go. Yeah, that's the base of the scale. The scale sits up on top of that. So, okay. Oh, there we go. All right. What is any product for smaller bottles of water and Envirotex epoxy? I use both of them. I got the Envirotex epoxy, but I haven't used it yet. Got a small uh, deal of it. Okay. What's that? All right, let me clean this brush off here. All right. Yeah, I use the Woodland Scenics realistic water, and I brushed it on this time instead of pouring it down, and it looks a little bit better. That's what I used on the creek that I have up at the other end of the layout. Uh, it came out really good. Okay, so what other colors do I have here? Let me do country gray for the all the base of these things are they're sitting on stone, so we'll do that. Let me do the big one first. So we got stone all the way on the bottom on both sides. And I use country gray for that. Hey, if you're missing the music, I could sing to you. But I know you don't want me to do that. Let me see. This one's a little bit bigger. This is a number 2. And I'll darken this up with some India ink later on in the crevices, little nooks and crannies on it. Ain't this just pretty? It's starting to look pretty good with adding the colors to it. Now the inside, huh? Oh boy. Yeah, you know all this is going to get covered up with coal. But we know it's here. Oh boy. Okay. That's that piece right there. We get these little bins right here.
Oh man, my neck is going to be sore tonight. Oops. All right, that's that one. Set that over there. Where's the other long one here? Okay. Oh man. Don't you just love watching people paint? Okay, there's that one. Oops. Knocked over the other one. You don't want to stand up. There we go. Now we'll do the short ones. Oh boy. Yeah, I think it's better to paint all the details and then bury with scenery. You never know when you're painting exactly where the scenery needs. Yeah, that's for sure. And if you miss a spot, somebody will find it. So best to paint everything, whether it's going to get covered up with coal or not. And there's some flash on the back that I need to trim off of there and then paint over it again. Okay. Yeah, everybody's quiet in the chat. Yeah, I think I put them to sleep. Okay. All right, just two more of these. Woo-hoo. So if you got a Rumble account, or if you don't have a Rumble account, get one so you could watch this on Monday and Friday also. And if you got the Rumble account, come on over there and keep Reggie and Debbie and let me see, Bama Big Man was on there on Monday, looking for other people to come on. But I'm on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Rumble doing something on here. Sometimes it's more exciting than me painting stuff. Yeah, there you go, Z's. Yeah, this premium creator thing on Rumble. I got it to stay on the premium creator, and I get and it it pays very well, much better than YouTube. Because February, I I had to, go on and qualify for it. I qualified, and in March, I maintained the stuff, and I was able to put up some premium content on here. And so at the end of March, they finalized everything and showed me what I made, and I made double what I make on YouTube a month. And that was just the first month of premium content. So they just added one more requirement, but I have to maintain 200 watch time hours per month. Yeah. So if you have a Rumble account, come on here and watch on Rumble so I could get my 200 hours so I could stay on as a premium content creator. And that'll make me happy. Let me wash this paintbrush. All right, I got that washed off. Okay, yeah. So far I got about 70 watch time hours. But the more people to watch the content, the it adds up, and I got to get that maintain the 200 every month. So let me put this over here. So if you have a Rumble account, come watch on Rumble. Even though if you got YouTube and Rumble, I prefer you come over on Rumble so I can get all this watch time hours up here. So maybe in the fall I can come up and go to Timonium and see everybody up there that goes to the Timonium train show. So I think that's all that I'm going to paint tonight. I still got some colors here that I didn't use yet. Here's the rust, and I got wrought iron and pure black and zinc, rusted pipe. Let me put these things back up here. I used 3 paints tonight. Go figure. All right. 200 hours of total watch time. Premium. All I have to do is create 5 hours of premium content, and so far this month I did 2. So that's not too hard, but 200 watch time hours of just regular stuff. And if you're on Rumble, get premium like Reggie did. Uh, no pressure, yeah, no pressure. I'm gonna head on over to the other one. Let me put this thing up here. I didn't need that because it didn't work anyway. Uh, Let me grab my iPad mini and put this in my pocket. And I got a little short video to transition you over while I'm walking over to the other one. Don't forget, if you're not on Rumble yet, go over and create an account on Rumble. All you have to do is fill out the information just like you did on YouTube. And once you're over there, click on Rumble Premium when you're watching my live stream so you could get all the advantages of a premium account. Get all the premium content put out by me and by other creators here on Rumble. So what are you waiting for? It's it's a no-brainer. It's $9.99 a month or $99 a year. It comes out to $8.25 per month. And you've seen that thing that I put out there earlier. And by this time, that should be enough time for me to walk back over into the other computer to set things up over there. So we'll see you over there. And don't forget to sign up for Rumble if you haven't done so already. And click on the Rumble Premium button down below the stream.
Yeah, see what he said over there. Okay. Woo, all right. I got that out of the way. Okay. So, what else we got here? No sleeping, just listening. Okay. There you go. All right. Let me put some of this chat up on the screen here. I'm back to the computer where I got Rumble Studio so I could, show all this stuff. And I didn't put the music up on here because I would have had to walk back and forth every 20 minutes or so and update the music because I can't use Rumble Studio on 2 different computers. And when I have some videos to show, I got to do it on this one here because I got 2 monitors and I got to put up the videos in vMix because they're long and some of the short ones. Yeah, nice pitch. There you go. Can't afford. I'm waiting to win the lottery. Can't afford any more perks. Yeah, I know what you mean. I got to hit the lottery too. So let me put this other one back up on here. It's the better one because you know what? Whenever I went into the train room. I didn't go to the bathroom, so I got to pee. So hold on a second. Here we go.
If you haven't done so already, smash that like button. Follow me on Tom Kvichak or Tom's Trains. Hit the bell notification. And better yet, sign up for Rumble Premium. What are you waiting for? You know why you want to sign up for Rumble Premium? Because you have ad-free viewing. Break free from ad breaks. Watch your favorite videos on live stream without advertisement. That means you don't have to sit there and click through 2 advertisements before each live stream or video. Then you get premium content. Gain access to exclusive premium content from creators like Steven Crowder, Dr. Disrespect, Tim Pool. They all have it. Even I have it. I'm a premium creator, and I even have the premium content. But if you're familiar with Mud Club, you get that free. If you're familiar with Timcast IRL's Uncensored, you get that free. And he now has the Green Room. You get all that advantages, and you also get a verified badge and other benefits. It's only $9.99 per month, US dollars, $99 per year. So what are you waiting for? Sign up for Rumble Premium now.
Yeah, what are you waiting for? Just hit that little Rumble Premium thing if you got Rumble. And if you don't, sign up for Rumble and then get Rumble Premium so you can go ad-free. Because I've been ad-free for, I suspect my ship was torpedoed before I got to port. I've been ad-free for maybe like 2.5 years on here on Rumble. So it's worth it. Debbie watches it on her computer over there, and she gets 2 ads. And when she watches a long one, she gets the ads in the middle of it, stuff like that. Same thing on YouTube if you don't have the premium on YouTube. But I'm going to be putting more content up here on Rumble. That's why I encourage you. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Rumble at 7 p.m. And then I got some videos that I bring out on Sunday on Tom's Trains. You could all get that if you follow me on Rumble. Train of Thought, all of them show up on Train of Thought. So there you go. I'm going to put the long version of the swirly smoke. I call it Toot Smoke and Gears, because it's got all the toots from the whole 5-hour trip. So I thought you'd get a chuckle out of that, Russ. Okay, so here's all the whistles from number 11 Shay. And that'll bring us up to about 3 hours and 15 minutes, and then we'll say goodnight. Because we've been on here long enough. I'm not going to make it to 4 hours. My neck is back.
Aboard the Fall Train. My name is Doc. I am your instructor today. More equipment, all figures are volunteers today on the Goodway.
There's the swirly smoke of town.
It wasn't easy.
I'll get a video of it.
Okay, that guy that I was talking about is on Rumble, and I'll show you. I got it queued up here. Let me get rid of the chat on the side here and turn the sound back up. So here's him doing the sky
Most part, you just want to put it
Bob
to cloud
Ross
shape. Here's a little
style.
trick. When doing this, keep the brush moving. One of the things I do, even if it looks like I'm lingering in an area, the brush is actually moving. And if I begin to run low on paint, I can actually flip it to the other corner and get a little bit more. You can do this to whatever level you want. And if your paint gets run on both sides, just load it up again. And again,
It's
using
model
that little
railroading
circular
with
motion,
Tom.
using just the corner of the fan brush. And I'll add a bunch more clouds in here just for clarity, just to show you how I do it. And then a little bit later, I'll take that blender brush, that 1.5 inch goat hair brush, and blend these out again. One of the nice things about the sky is this allows you a lot of practice. So if you're doing this for the first time, don't be afraid to put a lot of clouds in. It's good practice. If you're a little nervous about doing a backdrop like this, I suggest getting a inexpensive canvas and practice on a canvas. You can even do this on a piece of scrap masonite and prime it and practice doing the technique. Now I'm going to speed this up
Speed it up
just
there.
for the sake of time. You can see how I'm continuing this process. I'm going to go back and take this blender brush, this 1.5 inch, using that same circular motion, and I'm just going to blend out the brush marks. And I'll use the corner and use that circular motion. Sometimes when I'm painting, I get going fast, and it's sometimes hard to see exactly what I'm doing. Not to mention the cast shadow from my hand, as well as getting my hand in the way. But this is pretty simple. I also like to recommend, too, that you can find a lot of Bob Ross videos available on free streaming services such like Tubi, Freevee, and Pluto TV. And I think all of the shows in his series are there. So that's a great way to learn how to use this technique. And again, speed up the process. I don't paint that fast. And now I'll take the brush, and with a light touch, I'm just going to fluff the clouds up. Just kind of using an upward motion, and then I'll finish with a horizontal motion, just again to make sure I get all the brush strokes out.
I'm showing a video of this guy that I saw.
I'm going to use a mixture of alizarin crimson and sap green. And if you mix these two together, you're going to get a nice brown color. I like to start with the alizarin crimson. This gets me to a more red shade of brown. So I like to start with the color, the primary color, in this case the red, and then I'll add it into the green. Proportionately, it will be more red than green. And I always find if you start with the color you want, such as the red shade, it works a lot better. And all I'm doing with the knife is just picking the paint up off the palette. And this is just a clear acrylic palette I got at Hobby Lobby. Fairly inexpensive. And I just continue to mix it till I get a nice blend. And that's a nice brown color. You want to test your color. You can always put a little bit of titanium white in it to see what it is, and then blend up a little bit more of the dark colors. I'm going to use this 1-inch brush, and I'm going to use the excess paint on the knife and just scrape it off. Now, I actually teach painting workshops, so I have a lot of these brushes. If you have just a single brush, you'll have to clean it every time you change colors. So if you can afford it, and these aren't cheap, they're not expensive, but they're not cheap, I recommend getting 2 of these brushes. It saves on having to clean. And I'm just going to load the bristles, and I'm actually going to pull the paint on both sides, and it's going to cause the bristles to round off. See how it kind of rounded off there? And that's going to allow me, as I take the corner of the brush, and I'm going to work from the bottom up. And I'm doing this because the darker paint will be at the bottom, but as I work up, it'll get lighter. And I'm creating the actual foliage and bush shadows. And this dark color is going to help to show the light color. Bob Ross always used to say you need dark to show light, and that's important. So as you do this, and because this is a tapping motion, the palette or the easel will move. And I'm just holding it there, just keep things steady. But as I tap, I'm just using the corner of the brush, and I'm not allowing the brush to slide. And as the paint begins to run out, I get these light, kind of feathery foliage shapes. And that's what you want. You need dark to show light, but the lighter the foliage is, it looks like distant trees. I'm going to speed this up just for the sake of time. And as I work this out, when I load paint, I start from the bottom and I work up. That keeps my darker colors at the bottom. And this underpainting is really just the shadows. I'm going to take that script liner brush and I'm going to paint some tree trunks. And I just go into my odorless paint thinner. I recommend odorless paint thinner over turpentine and other solvents because it doesn't have as strong a smell. It says odorless, but believe me, odorless paint thinner has an odor. I recommend using this in a well-ventilated room because it is toxic. So be careful when you use it. But it's certainly not as bad as turpentine. Ooh, that stuff smells. And I'm going to thin this out with the paint thinner to an ink-like consistency. And I'll roll my brush in it. And then I'm going to take this, holding the brush at the back end, and just do a lifting motion to put in some tree trunks. If the paint doesn't stick, it means your paint's too thick. So add a little more paint thinner. And a key rule to this, one of the things Bob Ross always used to say is a thin paint will stick to a thick paint. And that's one of the keys to this wet on wet painting technique. I highly recommend practicing this first, especially if this is your first time on a scrap piece of masonite that's been primed. There is a touch to this. It's not difficult, but practice makes perfect. And as you come up on the tree, as you go up higher, I always recommend a lighter touch. And I sort of have a nervous twitch when I paint, and sometimes I'll get a thicker tree top than the bottom. But no problems. Practice makes perfect on this. I'm going to go back in and load that 1-inch brush, and I'm going to put in some dark color again. And I'm just going to tap in at the base of the trunks just to kind of blend everything in and set everything back. And then as the paint begins to run out, I'm actually going to go up to these upper portions of the tree and put those foliage shadows in. In a little bit, I'm going to add the autumn highlights to it. Do this to whatever desire, but don't just do this at random. Think of the shapes of the tree foliage. Don't think individual leaves. Think the shape of foliage. Cadmium yellow. I'm going to use bright red. And I'm going to use this yellow ochre to create the autumn shades of the trees. I'm going to use a 1-inch brush. I've cleaned it. And I'm going to load the brush just like I did the others. And here's my palette. And here's the mixes I have. This first one is just the bright red and the cad yellow. It's an orange color. This is the yellow ochre and the cadmium yellow. It gives me a gold color. And then I use the bright red and the yellow ochre. It gives me more of this darker orange color. And I'm going to load the brush just like I did for the dark foliage. I'm going to round the edges. And because I have multiple brushes, this is going to make it a lot quicker for me. But as I put this orange color on, and again the bright red and the cadmium yellow, I'm just going to continue to load. And if I'm having trouble getting it to stick, I can add just a touch of paint there. But boy, just a touch. I didn't do this in this painting. I just continued to load the brush, and my paint was thin enough that it was sticking. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. And I'm just going to do some of this color in different areas, not only the tree foliage, but some bushes down at the ground. I'm going to switch to a clean brush, and I'm going to load up the next color. And again, if you only have one brush, you got to clean it each time. But because I have multiple brushes, I'm going to use a brush for each color. This is that gold color. That's the yellow ochre and the cad yellow. And I'll just vary up the color shades with some gold. Another brush. Let's go into that darker red shade, rounding the brush just like I did earlier. And I'll tap over here and do this for these other trees. And I'm going to work back and forth with all the colors that I have. I'm going to go ahead and speed things up, but it's, again, the same motion. And I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but I'm going to mention it now. When you do this, be sure that your brush doesn't slide. Do a tap, but don't allow the brush, don't press so hard that it causes the brush to slide. That just makes everything muddy, and you won't like the look at all. And again, just working back and forth. And because this is a model railroad backdrop, I don't need a lot of fancy detail. I'm not painting a painting masterpiece. I just want something to represent autumn trees. I'm going to take a little of that liquid white. The paint's having a little trouble sticking, but that liquid white, just a little bit, will brighten those colors and also help ease application. And I'm just going to brighten up the foliage a little bit. Now, if you get it a little too light, you can go back in with your dark paint, that brown color we made earlier, and just add it in, and you can darken it up. I'm darkening it up down by the horizon. And then I can come back over it with the various autumn colors and fill it in. I'm going to take the knife and I'm going to use just the tip, and I'm going to scrape out some little weeds, saplings, and small trunks. And as it scrapes and I apply enough pressure, I'm actually scraping all the paint away back down to the white. Gives it almost like a birch-like effect. You can do this at whatever level you want. And if you get it a little too heavy, you can come back with your brush and actually add some of the foliage highlights again, or come back in the dark if you're getting a little light. And I'm doing that here just to show you how to do it. But anywhere it looks a little too bright. I'm not wanting anything fancy here. I just want to create a colorful backdrop because my trains are going to be the main stars of this. All right, I don't really like the look of that foliage there. So if you see something you don't really like, you can always come back and touch it up. Careful though, it's real easy to overwork this. Do it to whatever level you like. And when you're satisfied, go ahead and stop. As you can see, I keep going. But it is quite simple. And I'm going to go back in with that script liner brush, and I'm going to use that dark brown color just to put in a few twigs and sticks and some trunks and things like that here to whatever level you want. Most of this is going to be down towards the horizon by the baseboard, and you're not going to see a lot of this anyway. This painting technique is fairly simple. Practice does help, but even a first-time painter can have good results. So I encourage you to give it a try if you'd like to try it out. You really can make some striking backdrops, and a whole lot cheaper than having to buy them. All right. And I think that's going to pretty much do it. All right, there it is. It's all ready, and it's going to take about 7 to 10 days to dry. And when it is, you can put it up on your baseboard, and you got yourself a colorful backdrop. Thank you for watching. If you have a question, feel free to leave it in the comment section of this video, or go to www.bobross.com and learn more about the wet-on-wet oil painting technique at the Bob Ross site.
Okay, there's a link, and you caught me eating cashews. I'll put it up in the chat so you can see it better. Yeah, I mean, he does good work, but I guess I'll have to look. Yeah, be starting my train room this summer. I'll have to look at more of his videos. That was the first one I seen, and I followed him. Well, I must have watched more of them earlier, but I just happened to watch that this afternoon while Debbie was in a thrift store, and wow, it, it was amazing. And then she came out, so I just finished it right here. But good work. I wish I could do that. I did that with now he does that with oil, and I did mine with acrylic on the garage door. But I bought some of the oil paint, the blue, and I touched up my sky with that, and it made a world of difference. Hey, Jeff's Trains, good to see you in here. Yeah, we just watched a video on Rumble of some guy painting with oil-based paints. Looked really good. Yeah, technical difficulties. I have that every once in a while. You'll run into those problems. Okay, so I've been on here long enough. I've been 3.5 hours. I guess you're tired of watching people painting. That was probably more interesting than what I did. But I might go back to painting some more on the garage door once I get finished with this stuff here. I got to get the camera set up in there for doing all that stuff. So you already saw the swirly smoke with sound and the whistles. So I'll put on a different outro here for to get out of here. One of the older outros. Let me see, which outro is it? Okay. This is a short outro. So we'll see you. Thanks for stopping in. Don't forget, Friday on Rumble, 7 p.m. If you have a Rumble account, check me out there. If you don't, go over to Rumble, because you know why. Let me put this. I'll put the short one in here. This one here. Because there's a lot of good stuff on Rumble. So let me put this older outro in here. I can't remember what's on it, but there's probably Swirly Smoke on there. Or maybe just this one has the Everett Railroad.
I ain't got no money the first week of the month. Right up into orbit, I chase the only bound. I land that thing's a problem, really no do. But possible
All right. Good night, everybody. That one was Everett Railroad in Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania. We was there right after the meet and greet on Sunday after the Steamtown meet and greet. So see ya on Friday on Rumble. Hope to see you there. Bye-bye, everybody. Good night. It's been fun. I hope I didn't bore you with all that painting. Good night.